on this midday call. I'm going to give everyone a few seconds so I could start. So if you're watching it live, you don't have to watch it back. I'm going to let Mikey know that we're ready to go. Mike is my trusted confidant. We are in different spots, but he is doing a great job making sure all my work looks good. It's edited and posted on time. So this way, the grammar, please don't come after me, because I will say I'm not the best with grammar. And I have a lot going on at one time, and there's just not a lot of people around. So we're doing what we can to keep everybody safe and sound, which I do believe everyone is pretty damn happy. Which, well, not happy about what's going on in the world, but happy what's in your control. And we talk about what's in your control. What's in your control is how you handle your family, keeping them positive, keeping them fit, keeping them even keel, and how you handle your investments long term, short term, as well as just actively. Let me just give me one more second here. Here we go. Okay, Redler All Access has the link. I want to make sure that the public Twitter sphere has the link. Here we go. Ready to go live. Ready to go live. Ready to go live. And let's see if if you guys get the link in the VTF. I'll tell Mike right now. VTF also. Let's see if he puts it in there, which he shall. So basically, my whole world is watching. Oh my God, I'm so stressed. I'm kidding. So here is here's a disclosure. So let's get to me. Hello, everyone. Let's get a little music and a little uppity mood. All right, a little uppity mood. It's 11:35, March 24th. This is my my fourth video today, but second public one. The last one I did was, I think at 6:15 in the morning. I've been trying to do these videos in the morning to try and update everybody on, the complexion of the morning, kind of where things are at, and just help everyone navigate the best they can. Because all we can do is do what we can control. And what can we control? We can control our process. We can control how we implement our long-term objectives, how we are at home, how we are with our coworkers, how we help those in need. We can't make policy from the Fed, from Washington, and we just could do what we can do, and that's what I try and do every day. Sometimes I'm smarter than other times, and sometimes I'm not, but I try and be consistent. I try and be transparent. I try and do everything on the up and up. So Mike just told me that I have to show you guys the VTF, which is a great product of ours. Okay, this has everybody talking right there. They're actually listening right now. I'm going to say hi so I can interactively talk. You see this? So typically I am on the radio on the VTF from what's it called? From I think 9:15 to around 11:30, talking about what I'm seeing. They could get to see what I'm doing. Hey, everyone on the VTF, tell everyone where you're from. See what it's 11:36. Let's. I think we have guys on the virtual trade floor from around the world. Atlanta, Virginia, France. Nice. Chicago, Miami, Jersey, Kansas, New York, South Carolina. Wow, everywhere. And if you look up here, there's about 311 people talking. Okay, everybody. Usually on here, most people on the VTF, the virtual trading floor, they trade for a living. They're at their keyboard every day. Usually they have great habits. Like, can only mention a few of their names, but the early birds like David Prince and Svi and Lily Steve and Sean and everyone, everyone's talking ideas. You see them in the morning, at 6:30 in the morning. I'm showing you how they're already talking about their plans and whatnot. So today, I came in, pretty flat-footed. Yesterday I did sell puts. Okay, what I like to do into the volatilities, I sell puts. This way I sell strikes that I'm comfortable buying. You heard Mark Cuban talk about that the other day. He said he's doing the exact same thing. He said he's putting like 1% in S&P funds every down move, and he's also selling puts into the extremes to collect the premium. So I guess I'm just like Mark Cuban, except for he's just a billionaire and I'm a regular guy. I gave you guys the plan also, saying, hey, every level down, if you have a cash account, put some money to work. So my wife had a cash account, because she moved from a state employer to private practice, and she couldn't put monthly flows in like we could do on her 403B or my 401k. So that was sitting in cash, as of last year. So I tried to give you guys levels. If you're in a cash account, what do you do? So she's, 50% back in. We started a little bit over 15% off highs and then 30% off highs. So her average is 27% off highs in a new big cap S&P fund. But that's not trading. That's long term. Okay, she doesn't care, you know, she cares, but this is not money we need tomorrow, and she's sitting in 50% cash just in case after whatever this bear market type bounce takes us to, which we'll go over, she has more room just in case in a month or two we make lower lows, and I'll get to that. As far as, again, professionally, the VTF gets to see it live. So if you look here, okay, I came in with, you know, overnight. So it shows what I had overnight. So I was short the SPY 180 puts as of last week, and I added yesterday. That's for April 3rd. I was also short as of yesterday, 3 different tranches. They saw me put that on the 190. So this was my way of getting long the SPYs short term if we hit that. So I'm synthetically long. I didn't buy puts, I sold them. So today I came in and I was pretty excited about Tesla. I'm like, you know what, Tesla's been holding in there. I haven't played it long in so long. I sold some puts last week. I'm going to sell some puts again. Elon Musk, the man, he's friggin', you know, manufacturing ventilators. You know, he's already sending out 1,000. I just feel like, why can't this get back to 500? So I came up with the plan with Redler All Access, put the chart on there, and how, you know, pre-market I actually bought Tesla. And you can see that. So if you look here, Tesla buy was at 852. So if you go over here, they see the first buy. I'm pointing to it right there on the, you know, so that's my first buy. And then we were up 10, 12 points sold, and then I bought more, sold some, bought, sold some, and you can see I'm still in Tesla. Okay, that was not put on yesterday, it was put on today. And if you look at Tesla, it's at 504 right now. And guys are bought the dip before. Hey, Steve, what price did you just buy before? Are you listening? You know, we were talking about what, 491 half on a pull-in? Let's see if he pops up right over here. He's probably not even listening. He's making too much money today. I'm kidding. Anyway, who on the, by the way, who on the virtual trading floor played Tesla today? I can type to them. Did anyone? There you go. Play Tesla today. Not saying they all work. I'm just talking. You know, we're wrapping out here. LP, you picked it up at 492. Did anyone pick up Tesla pre-market with me that you saw on the VTF? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Besides the plan from pre-market, twice. Anybody sell puts with me? So here you can see I sold puts today at 931 and 934 because I'm like, you know what? I don't think we're getting back to 385 by Friday, which we might be. We might. And I also sold this. So I sold these puts. Listen, selling puts isn't for everyone, but you know, if it's a good way also to be synthetically long from a lower price, but you need to have a lot of money in your account. So there's a way to trade it and be in it, and then also a way to synthetically sell puts. So, but one other thing I did today is I bought Bank of America 947. I don't remember what price it was. Does anyone remember on the VTF what price it was around? I think it was like, you know, 19 and a quarter or something. Anyway, I bought some, sold some to take some off because I am not an all or none, and I'm still in it. So 1920s. Where's Bank of America now? Bank of America is you can actually see that right there. Bank of America is at 2044. That's nice. So we bought it pretty much, you know, when they were trying to contain it. I think down here. So you can see what price today, what time? 947. So where is that with the that was all the way down here. So that's not a bad buy. And I trimmed some and I'll hold some. Anyway, go back to the VTF. Yeah, Jets is resistance 1. So what I tried to do this morning, I didn't come in long the SPYs, and I bought this. My first buy was a 939 on the pull-in. I've been trading it since, and I'm still in some. Right now we're hitting 240. You know, my thought process. So that's kind of like what I have to do for compliance to show you. But it also gives you an example of what, you know, what people see and how transparent things are with the T3 Live community on the VTF as well as Redler All Access. By the way, some guys are like, what's Redler All Access? Well, Redler All Access is right here. Ooh, how do we get that over there? How do you see that? Oh yeah, I don't know if you can. Okay, anyway. Oh, there it is. What do you guys see? Yeah, that's what you see. Anyway, if any of you guys want Redler All Access, t3live.com/REA, you could join for a month. And I pretty much, pretty confident that you're going to stay. Most people stay. I think we have I don't know what our offer is now, but it's nothing if you're a trader, like $45, and then it's like $100, you know, a month thereafter. But there's always, you know, ways to buy it for cheaper with, you know, different holidays. But anyway, that's t3live.com/Redler All Access if you find yourself lost and you need ideas and you need a community. Anyway, back to me. Oh, there we are. By the way, this is the Short Hills office. And as you can see, I'm lonely. I have my big water jug, an essential. and I have some IPAs in the fridge for later, just in case I have to sleep here. But anyway, all right. So now let's get to it. So I posted some charts. You can take this off now. Go over here, and here is basically the chart of the S&P cash this morning. I posted a chart saying resistance one would be 2374, which I thought was doable, and I thought perhaps we get to 2434, which is the 8-day, which we're pretty much on our way. Right now we're at 239.45. Well, I'll get to that. And this is the 8-day moving average that we've been below ever since we broke it. Remember, guys, I always talk about the 21-day moving average. I showed you guys how we were in an ascending channel, and then it broke, and I went from like I don't know, 20 positions to 5, and then here I was down to none, and then this was the 200-day. Remember the 200-day where I was talking about how I was buying the VIX, I was buying $300 puts, and we had to go at least retest 28.55. Well, that was up here, and we went through it. That was probably one of my best short trades, and yes, Red Dog does short stuff. That was compelling. I was like, we're only 10, 12% off the highs, and China's closed, Italy's starting to, get quarantined. How can we be 10, 12% off the highs? It doesn't make sense. So that was that into here, and anyway, this is where we are now. So at this point, this could be a new active sequence. Active sequences could last for a day and a quarter. It could last for a week, and we measure it the entire way. So what I put on here on the S&P in the chart is I'm like, what do we know? We know 2191 is the 35% off highs. That's it. That's all we know. People could say we're going to be down 40%, 50% in a month from now or in 6 weeks. It might happen, but for now, this is your low. That's what we know. That's the drawdown so far. Today we had a gap up, and we held 23.44. For the first time in a while, we had a gap up, and it didn't fall apart. Like yesterday, remember they tried to hold it up, and you had a pullback that turned into a bigger pullback. That wasn't a fun trade. Anyway, so 23.44. That's what we also know. And again, there was a little bit of power to push through 23.74, and this is your next level right here. So this most likely, if we see it today, I would think would reject price. Okay. First, we paused here for about a little bit, for a second or so. And by the way, I'm not trading right now. I have stops in. You could do that. I used to be able to go to the lunch and take a spin class and go to Equinox and put my stops in where the trade changes and hold, and that's kind of what I'm doing today. I'll show you what level that is after. So an active sequence is like here. So let's go back to the active sequence concept. So right here, this started an active sequence back in October. That was when we started our portfolio approach. So this was this was an active sequence, and then what we do when we're above the 8 and 21 day, we try and be long. Okay, we be long until a new composure change or a new active sequence. So here we're above this entire time literally, for almost 2 months we were in an active sequence to the upside. Here, when we broke the 8th day, I probably went from like 10 or 12 longs to 3 or 4, came in, and then we filled this gap, so it showed no power to this new potential downside active sequence. So here, if you remember, we wound up consolidating again. I remember this very well. I took off some positions because the market proved not to have downside power, and then here, put it back on as we digested above the 8th day, and then had another active sequence. And I remember on this day, after another 2 months of great, swing trades and buying high and selling higher and a very strong momentum market, right here it got a little testy again. On this trade, I probably got out of 3/4 of my longs and said, okay, I got to wait and see again. Does this have any power? So here you had a gap down, filled the gap. So again, we filled the gap, so it didn't show much power. And then you had one more push as we took back all the moving averages and started an active sequence here. That on these 2 days, okay, this is very different now. Very different. Yeah, as a trader, you have to see what's different. So here, I think I was at Miami chilling out. Went to Joe Stone's, took my parents to dinner for my mom's birthday. We went to Prime, Prime One. What's the name of the Prime place? Anyway, it was freaking awesome. Dinner, steak, this and that. Anyway, come on, guys. VTF, help me out. What was it? You guys are Miami guys. Oh, you guys are trading. All right, I'm not trading right now. I'm talking. Anyway, so with that being said, Prime 112. There we go. The day I was at actually practice with Chase. He was taking a lesson. The guy was taking a basketball lesson on vacation. That's how dedicated you have to be to this. So, P.S. I got stopped out of 6 positions during this loose and wide day, and then I got stopped out of a bunch more that Friday. By the time things rolled around, I was down to like 4 or 5 positions. I still had VIX calls on as a hedge, and I still had spiders on. So this down move, I made money actually. And then once we got below 32.14, I was done with my positions. This confirmed the weakness by not filling the gap. Here we filled the gap, there we filled the gap, so this was the first time we have a new potential crazy down move. I also remember that tweet. I'm like, hey guys, this is a time after an 11-year bull run to play strong defense, not aggressive offense. I was right in here. This was also the time I sent a tweet out saying when all the momentum names lost some momentum level. But anyway, so this was your first move down to 28.55, back up. The 200-day moving average is another rule. If you break it a few times and finally close below it, it shows real weakness, and that was here. So now here we are all the way down with the potential of a new active sequence. But this time it's to the upside. The bulls are trying to take a small amount of control back. To me, in the back of my head, this is a bear market bounce. The question is, where is it going to go to? I'm going to try and stay with it. I'm going to try not to short too fast. I'm going to try and make some money, but only doing it in compelling areas. So, buying right here today at 238.75 at 11.49 is probably not compelling. You know why? Because we might get some margin selling also. You might get margin selling between 130 and 230 because a lot of guys got stopped out of positions. They don't have cash to come up with, so they have to sell other stock to meet that margin call, and that's why we always get this 130 to 230 weakness spot. Yes, that happens. You have to know market dynamics. Anyway, so this, so wait. Don't be buying 11.49 for your first time today. If you want to scalp, scalp. So anyway, this is your resistance area. So if we kind of hit this and come back and make a higher low, then we're showing some commitment to this still. Then maybe there's a shot that over time we consolidate in here, take this out, and work towards 2700-ish, which is the 21-day. Okay, which would be a pretty big reflex move, a pretty big counter trend rally. And counter trend rallies happen in bear markets. So we'll see. Like the other day, let me do it. I'm going to do a few. Anybody want me to show the 2007, 2009 scenario real quick? If I get 2 or 3 yeses, I'll do it. I can't see you guys on Twitter because I'm not watching that. All right, just to show you. So this was your first, this is a 35% off highs. So if you look here, go all the way back. Let's go all the way back to, I did it on the 5-year, I think. Okay, let's go on the 5-year. So on the 5-year chart, sorry. Just, it's sometimes good to look at history. Okay, so here it was. I remember this really well. I used to be on with Aaron Burnett and Mark Haynes all the time. Remember this right here? This was the head and shoulders top pattern that I pointed out on television. The first time I was ever on TV, I put that over there. And I'm like, hey, look at look at this head and shoulders pattern, etc. Well, the first move we were as high as what, 1576, and then before we bounced, okay, first of all, when was this? This was the high here was in October. So the low of the first move was in March. So October, November, December, January. It took 5 months to go down this first move. Wow, that's the difference in the velocity these days with the boxes and the computers. So 5 months to get the first phase down. Then what did it do? It came back and retested, got everyone bullish. Then came in, okay, and so far, so the retest bear market bounce was from March back up to May. So April, May, March, April, May, 2 months. So 4 months down, 2 months up, and then we came in. And then you had another lower high, so high, lower high, lower high, and then this is when it really broke. And then, we went all the way to the bear market lows, which was down here in April. And then I remember this. I remember this head and shoulders bottom that everyone was starting to get really bearish again. And I'm like, hey guys, look at this head and shoulders bottom. Boom, boom. And anyway, I'm not going to throw the whole thing. And then it took this out after making the low, and this started the new move. But anyway, this was like 4 months or so. This was 2 months or so, and then the next leg lower was friggin' crazy. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that a bear market bounce could happen before, all the data comes in, all the earnings revisions, all the, maybe the peak of the virus. I don't know. All I'm saying is we're 35% off highs. We might get some kind of, right now we're up 7%, 7 to 12% bear market bounce. Or this is it right here, which I doubt. And then in time, whether it's a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, maybe we roll back down and you still want to be on your toes. So just looking at a little bit of history here, I traded through this whole thing. Can you guys see that on the VTF, by the way? You're watching it, or you guys are all trading banshees? Anyway, let's go back to where I was. So I just want, well, I'm just doing this. I'm doing this off the cuff. By the way, everything I do is kind of off the cuff because I have no teleprompter. I'm sitting here at my desk in Short Hills. Um, and I'm trying to trade, make a living, and also teach, and also guide. Those are a lot of things I like to do. Um, and thank God I have ADD, so I can do all those things. They're not all easy to do. So again, what do we know? We know that um, here is your reactionary first low, and this did not take 4 months. It took 4 weeks after breaking the 8 and 21 day. Now we also know we have a little active sequence here. Maybe we have a few inside days and then break this to head towards 2,700 and have some kind of really more extensive bear market bounce, or we turn here, we do a little red dog reversal through it, and then head back down, and who knows, maybe we then test 2191 and this turns a V into a W, I don't know, and then we break that. There's a lot of things that can happen. But I'm going to take it day by day, but I'm also not going to have so many, opinions. This is, just kind of the thought process. And having a plan, a map, and a map in front of you, sometimes is really good. So, quickly with the SPYs. So kind of same thing. If you look at the SPYs, might as well get this out of the way. So now how would I judge this new active sequence? Okay, let's see if it has enough power. Right now we're through. Remember, 238.89 was a good resistance at first. That's where it actually stopped. Now we're through this, so I can get rid of this. That's done. So there was enough power to get through there. Now the question is, can we, protect this gap to keep this new active sequence kind of intact for a move towards here, which is your next big resistance area, like this 244 to 247. Okay, so far all we've done is this. Okay, after that. So I remember when we had this descending trend line, we had a new gap up and it started an active sequence and we stayed above the 8-day. The 8-day is right here. We haven't even reclaimed the 8-day. The 8-day has been like the big stick punching the bulls in the head every time it's tried to get above it this entire way up, except for this one little spot for a day. Ever since it lost the 8 and 21 day, which was your time to adjust and to sell. I got to say that 100 times. I put out an ebook for you guys in January, not knowing that in February we were going to break the 8 and 21 day and start the biggest correction in stock market history. But you didn't have to know what was going to happen if you adjusted when we broke on February 20th and 21st, or if you waited to adjust to the 200 day and saved yourself a lot of money and a lot of pain. A lot of guys on this VTF are doing very well. You know what? I'm going to even say, because if you guys are on here, you're traders. Guys, is anyone on this VTF, having one of their best quarters in the last 3 years? Anyone? You could say it here. You can't say it to your neighbor. You can't say it to people who aren't in the market. You can't say it to those affected, but you have to help them. I am? Okay, yes. Yep. Okay, I am too. This is my biggest quarter, I think, in my career. Which, again, and I'm doing 1,000 things, and I probably could be trading a lot more. And again, I'm not telling the Dunkin' Donuts person or the restaurant guy, I'm actually giving them gift cards, and I just went to Sneaker Factory and I bought 3 pair of sneakers, and I don't even need them, just to help keep them in business. Those are things you could do, and I'm not jinxing the trading gods, but I'm just saying it can be done with preparation and with the process and a routine, which is what I do every day, and that's how I try and live my life. I'm actually going to leave here in a little bit with those positions, put stops, and I'm going home. I'm going to do this 30-minute friggin' bar class with my wife, just because I can today. I couldn't do it yesterday, and then come back and see where things are at and trade the last 2 hours, do the recap. Philanthropy is very important, Steve. Very, very important. I don't know if I can do the bar class. And there's like 80 videos. I'm gonna look for a woman, that might do a sculpting class. So I'll take my little Anyway, you see the gun? No, I'm kidding. I used to like to do spin classes in the stair machine. I don't have it. We got to change. So anyway, I'm a small guy, not a trader. I didn't give up the Peloton. I actually ordered it late. Unfortunately, it's coming April 3rd, and I hope it still comes. So let's go back, bring this back over here. All right, so this is this is your area that I can get to. The Qs have been leading the way. Why have the Qs been leading the way? Because look how this, now you have this gap up, this too, kind of is active, it's already above, look, the Qs are back above the 8-day. So now for this to stay special, okay, and go for a few more days than just today, this was a morning note, which I went with those, now this has to kind of hold. Okay, so if you now want to be long, like if you're on my note tomorrow, like we closed here, we open flat, I'll say, Ken, the Qs protect the gap to continue to show some power and work its way up more towards this has moved down, or not. So this is now your morning low. This is 178.36. So this could change to 178.36. That's your new point of reference, which we're going to refer to. If tomorrow we walk in and it fills the gap, all of a sudden, okay, you know what, we're misdirection, we're choppy, that's fine. If we hold this resistance area, I can get rid of this now. Here's your next spot, 182-ish. We might even be able to see that towards the close. Maybe let's see where the Qs are right now. The Qs are, sorry, 182-ish. This is one, oh, this is a 182 then. What's this high here? 183.50. This was a wrong number. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So 183.50 could happen if we continue. So did I say 184.50 or 183.50? This is 182.87. This is 183.50. This is what is this one? 184. So it's like a zone. This is a zone, and then this is major. So if this starts getting through this zone, chances are maybe the SPYs could follow a little bit. All right. So this morning I chose the BAC because it was so battered and bruised. I haven't traded this in a while. My first time long it all day. This actually trapped this candlestick, and to me it doesn't really have that much room. But anyway, I guess pretty showed a little power. This is your 8-day right here, so this is going to be tough, but then it can go a little bit more. If you look at the XLF also put a low in, kind of trapped this candles coming up to here, so I would be careful buying it to here. This could be some resistance. What Jets do? Jets actually didn't make a new low these last 3 days while the S&P did, and I thought this can get to 1475. It's already a little bit above it. That's good. See, the sectors that got crushed the most are probably the ones going to have a bigger day, which is why somebody's like, hey, Red Dog, why is Amazon not up that much? Why is Netflix not up that much? Because they went green every day and were up a lot while the market was down, so no one's going to rush to buy them because we're not in a market where you could really have momentum and buy high and go higher, but you could have some relative strength. So that's why Amazon and Netflix aren't, taking off today, because they were up a lot yesterday, but they're going to hang in there. So now this is your new gap to trade against here. This is already above there. So what's this? 1501 now. Oh, look at Josh Brown's on TV. Counter trend move. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about Josh. I'm good friends with him. But I guess you can either watch him or me, whatever you want. So tech's not lagging. It's just other things are playing catch up. So anyway, so let's move on. I am in a little USO. It's not great. I think there's some kind of meeting tomorrow between the Saudis and the Russians that we're trying to broker. Maybe there's a deal. So I bought some cheap calls yesterday and a little bit today. If something happens, it can help the rally overall because that'll help energy, and then maybe we could see a move towards here, which isn't too much. Let's see. Let's go through some stocks, okay? Apple. I'm not long Apple. Yesterday I posted a chart saying I think it was interesting coming into 215, and I did not buy it. I apologize. Now you have a gap up here also. Right into resistance. I would not be buying into this first resistance, but doesn't mean it's a short. If this market wants to continue, if the S&P wants to go to 2,700, which I'm not saying it's going to, Apple could probably get to here, but this is resistance 1. Now you can get rid of this, and you can put that same kind of gap. Apple has a pro gap now, so maybe it adjusts a little bit above it for a little bit, and then you could buy through there, but not the first time it gets there. What's today's low for Apple? Today's low for Apple is 234.30. So I would say if you want to be long Apple, that's your stop. Obviously, that's a lot of room. If you want to look intraday, there's other places to put a stop. So that is your gap. Now maybe get a few inside days, and then this could be better, and then it can get to there. I don't know, but I would not be buying it today. First time at 12 o'clock at 242, even if it goes higher. This broke the 8-day here. This had a pro gap also, and then it had your flag, type bear flag, and it's continued lower. And so far, if you look at what's what, you'll see like what's not above the 8-day. Apple is not leading right now. It's not above the 8-day. It's just poking its head up to get there. Microsoft, I think, is the same. Microsoft, oh, actually, Microsoft's a little bit better. It's trying to reclaim it. So you could, what's Pelosi saying? All right, so this is going to be a lot of resistance right there, but now you can be long versus this. This low here is 141.27. Oh, come on, Stephanie. You've been up buying oil energy names for like 3 years. Oh, sorry, I can't. It's not nice. 141.27. I love Stephanie. She was on my morning call. I taught her technicals. But she's loved a group that I haven't looked at in like 3 years. Anyway, I didn't say that, did I? Here we go, 141.27. Maybe you can get up towards there. Oh, that's a pretty good tune. You ever hear this tune? Oh, yeah. Anyway, all right, I'll take it back down. Anyway, that's what you could be long against. Amazon has been best in breed. So basically you had a low, a higher low, a higher low. It's just not showing power to get through here. I would not be chasing it today, but oh, now he's talking about, all right, so anyway, this is back above all the moving averages. So this started a new active sequence kind of here where it protected this spot. So as long as this stays above this, okay, and hangs in there, maybe there's a little bit more inside action to then go up more. But again, remember when it broke 21.25 and I sold it from the beach? Well, that was then. Anyway, this also showed some nice relative strength. As the S&P made new lows, this was making higher lows. Tesla was my favorite long today. Look how much it got crushed. This has been, one of my best names. Fourth quarter of last year was my most active name. I made money long. I made money selling puts. I just was all over the trend. You had this friggin' awesome trend here. Remember you guys beat the hell out of me on the Cybertruck here, and then it got better. I bought the call spreads, etc. And then look at the 8-day. Above it, a little stretched, held it. Above it, a little stretched, held it. Above it, a little stretched, held it. All the way up to the peak. And then lost the 8-day at 820. That could have been your sell. Or you could say, hey, I'm going to sell it here at 755 because now I lost a 21-day, and this was the biggest momentum stock in the market. So you have to sell it when it breaks. Anyway, it's been below it since now for the first time. We're above, okay, with a nice gap. And I'm glad that I focused on this because I didn't come in long it. So I had some time to sell some puts to get synthetically long it at the 385s and 390s. And I bought it pre-market and traded around it. And I guess it could work its way towards here. So I don't think it's going to 755 or 820, but why can't it get to 560 if this is going to go a day or two more, which we don't know if it is, but if it's going to, and we know how to measure this active sequence now, maybe that can get to 560. So I'm going to try and stay with some. And if I don't stay with the stock and I sell it at some point because I'm in some stock, at least I'm going to hold on. I have a lot of room to collect all the premium that I sold in the first half an hour of the day by selling those puts, and that's why that strategy also works. There's some room here. Zoom, everybody loves. Today took the day off. I actually put this 137 in. I'm like, maybe, comes in, test the 8 days. So far, it's holding it. So I think it's more than, I know Jim Cramer talks about how it's just a barometer for the coronavirus. I don't think. I think it's going to be a way of a lot of people doing a lot of business moving forward. So maybe emotionally on days the market's up, it might not be up as much, but on days that we're down, it could be up. But overall, this is when it took back the 8-21 day, and this was your move. So now a little digestion here makes some sense. And I've been talking now for half an hour. This is just supposed to be a midday little powwow between all of us. And I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're doing what you can to keep your family happy, or not even happy, positive. It's up to us, whether you're whoever's watching this, to stay even keel. We're traders. We know what getting too high is and too low is, and we know how bad days could happen, and we know how to work off, a bad stretch. And right now the world is in a little bit of a bad stretch. So now, if a lot of people don't know how to do that, we have to help. Okay, we've been trained to get beaten up as traders. You get beaten up over the time, and we've learned how, get little things to make you feel good, and little things make you feel good, put you on a better path. You get on a better path, you think faster, you think better, and then you can help those around you. So if you find people are a little depressed, or are a little anxious more than you, just give a helping hand. That's what we're here for. And if you could afford it, definitely pay it forward to buy some gift cards from restaurants in your town. And let's continue to go day by day with plan A, B, and C. I think everyone's like, Red Dog, did you go to Harvard or Yale? I'm like, no, I went to SUNY Albany, but I worked my butt off. What's your secret sauce? I'm like, what's my secret sauce? Preparation. Want to hear my secret sauce? If this happens, then do that. If that happens, then do this. If both of these things don't happen, then do that. That's what the trading is figuring out if this happens, what do we have to do because of it? If this news is out there, how does the market react? Does it react to it, or is it priced in? All these things have to be also digested fast in order to execute fast. And that's what 22 plus years have helped me do, besides feeding my brain every weekend and continue to work at it. Someone's asked me to show you guys again one more time. This is Redler All Access, t3live.com, t3live.com/RA. If you want to try it, I really think you should, especially if you trade for a living. And I also think, those that trade part-time, I can definitely help. And then we also have lots of lessons. We have lots of technical. We have the, what is it called? Path to Profits, which is a 2-hour video montage of all my experiences rolled up into one, to maybe give you the Cliff Note dummy down version of my style, so that will help you understand Redler All Access as well. And if you just want to tune in here and there, you know what? That's cool too. I'll see you guys later. Good luck the rest of the day.